It has come to light. And there will be other teams. And one of those other teams is Louisville. Louisville got named after the Arizonas and the Oklahoma States and all that stuff. They were saying there was another one. Louisville just got named in it. Now, Rick Pitino, he's on unpaid leave. The AD, Tom Urick, he's on paid leave right now. This is Louisville's what? Third situation that revolves around Rick Pitino. Now, I'm not going to question anything about Rick Pitino's basketball mind, basketball strategy, basketball, ability. I don't think anyone questions that. Mac Farrell, I'm going to go there. They don't know what the people that's not in the chat room don't know what I'm talking about, but we're going to go there in just a second. It started with Rick Pitino and the whole thing about the mistress. So that brought a negative light to the university. Then this whole thing about the escort service. So then Rick Pitino said, I have no knowledge of that, graduate assistant. He was doing that on his own, whatever. Now you got this situation, and Rick Pitino is saying he had no knowledge of wrongdoing. Well, Rick, whether you had it or not, and I think it's going to be pretty hard that for you to convince people that you didn't at this point. I'm not saying one way or the other. I'm just saying this is what the situation is. The situation is this happened on your watch. And I think that's what people are going to look at it as, is that how many times is the university going to trade off wins or possible wins because, they got to the NCAA finals, and everything, and they won. Or, they won the tournament. So how many of those are they going to trade off for indiscretions or for, situation? Now, I think at this point, because they're saying that Rick Pitino can't be fired right now because he had in his agreement, he has to be given a 10 days notice and they have to hear him out. I think after 10 days, he's going to be gone. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, the Federal Bureau of Investigation is involved in this. This is not some university presidents meeting up. This is serious. They are out to get folks. They are out to check the box. They are not playing. And I think in the next week, 2 weeks, we're going to find out more. We're going to find out more of what's been going on in this college basketball. And hopefully, it doesn't dip off into college football, because you kidding yourself if you don't think it happens in college football. Oh, my gosh. The kids, they probably thinking, hey, I'm here for a semester, bro. I'm going to go ahead and get it in, whatever, and get in, get out. But these are grown people. These are grown people staring these kids and being not that positive role model that these kids are supposed to be, and especially all of them share the same blame, but really the rifleman, Chuck Person, come on, man. So we will keep a monitor on this and, update you as it goes on. But yeah, this whole Pitino thing, and then I forgot to mention, and then we'll get off of it, but Louisville is in trouble. They had 2 recruits, for 2018. Both of them, after this news came out, they said, whoop, I'm decommitting. I'm done. And one of them was number 8 in ESPN's 100, Anthony Simons. And then they still had 2 top 50, and Courtney Ramey, he was number 49. So you had top tier guys that was going to be coming to your school next year, and they're like, "No, I'm out," and that's all it takes. I'm out, and whoever's coming behind that, I ain't trying to touch that. I ain't trying to touch that because they finna get dealt with, and I'm not finna sit and play for a team that's not going to the tournament or maybe lose some TV, publicity and and all that stuff. So Louisville is in trouble, but it goes deeper than that. It goes deeper. Sluggo said they know if they're not cheating, other teams are and will gain the upper hand. And then Sluggo said, I guess they ran out of people to blame it on. So we're going to move on from that. But like I said, this thing is deep. It's going to get deeper. We're going to keep an eye on it, and as it goes on, keep you abreast and up to date of what is going on. Now, before I move into the next topic, I told y'all Mac Farrell, first it was JY3. Now Mac Farrell want to get in here and see, again, I'm going to have to end up, escorting Mac Farrell and JY3 out of here, man, because y'all going to get me in trouble, man. He over here bringing up Jake the Flake, man. I'm telling you, JY3, Jake the Flake, check it out. Flint legend. Now he lives down in Dallas, still doing it big. And shouts out to Jake the Flake also, because with the Flint water situation, Jake the Flake was one of many, but, came back, contributed, donated, and put that word, out there. So, yeah. Check it out, JY3, Jake the Flake. Check it out. I think you'll like, if you like Top Authority, you'll like Top Authority, Dayton Family, Jake the Flake. That's all, in that. So check it out, Jake the Flake. I think you'll like him. So let me get off this hip hop. But Mac Farrell, you're taking me there, man. You can't be talking about the hometown like that, man, and get me all off beat, man. But we got some games coming up this weekend. So NFL is going down. I'll always give y'all my top three games to keep an eye on, and there's no different than this week. Number 3, we'll get into it real quick, is going to be Pittsburgh versus Baltimore, and this is the battle of the AFC North. Both teams are 2-1, and they always seem to be, they're not high scoring games, but they always seem to be, rough, tough, tearing each other heads off, type of game. So I think it's going to be no different. Baltimore is coming off a very bad loss, to Jacksonville. So I know they want to get some get back, and let everybody know that is not the team that they, show over in London. And also Pittsburgh, the same way. We talked about Pittsburgh. Sometimes I think Pittsburgh plays down to their competition. To make a team one-dimensional in the Chicago Bears and still lose and have them beat you, through their running game, which that's what they were going to do. They were going to try to run the brakes off of Jordan Howard, and you still let him get off. You still didn't shut him down, even though you know what they were doing. So these two teams will be coming off embarrassing losses, and they're going to be trying to set the tone again to start up we're already with the fourth end. So this is we're quarter end. So we're gonna of the season, quarter end of the season. They will, be up for the match. So this is one that you need to keep an eye on. Joe Flacco, he up and down. He's all over the board at this point. Nothing, really, really consistent. But 2-1 helps out. You go 3-1, you put yourself in a good position to start going through these bye weeks and running into these teams, maybe coming off byes that you can catch them slipping or getting ready to go into byes. But number 2, I got Washington and KC. Now this is a little bit, maybe different, but KC is with Tyreek Hill and Kareem Hunt. And let me tell you something real quick about Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt, he wears the number 27. He reminds me of another 27 that wore that same jersey in Kansas City right now. And that's Larry Johnson. I don't know how many people remember Larry Johnson. Larry Johnson was a beast. in that backfield. He was a load. He didn't have a long career, but when he was at his height, he was a load to take on. And that is what Kareem Hunt looks like he might be. He might be that dude, for the Kansas City Chiefs. And Alex Smith, he's playing very good ball, at this point. Washington got themselves together a little bit over Oakland. I think a lot of people are surprised that, what the Washington defense did to Oakland's offense more than anything. So I'll be hoping that Josh Norman, will be covering Tyreek Hill. I think that'll be a matchup to keep an eye on and see how that works out. And can Washington get their running game together? Their running game, Kirk Cousins needs this running game. Rob Kelly was hurt last week, so Samaje Perine played, and he wasn't of much help. And it's not all his fault, but they need to get a running game to get this thing going. You got guys like Chris Thomas coming out of the backfield. You got Josh Dodson, and you signed Terrell Pryor. You got to get this guy going. So Washington KC, I think, will be a good game. That is number 2. And number 1 for me is going to be another divisional matchup, Denver versus Oakland. They are two teams that have went at it over the years. Nothing has changed. Defense versus offense. That's the big thing. Can the no-fly zone with the Denver Broncos, secondary, hold Amari Cooper and Crabtree and and all those guys, and also slow down beast mode? Can they slow him down? And slow Derek Carr down. So that's my number 1 game. And Trevor Siemian, he's having a decent year right now. So it's like, is this the Trevor Siemian we're gonna see, for the entire year, or is it just for a spurt? It remains to be seen, but that is my number 1 game. So recap: Pittsburgh versus Baltimore, Washington versus KC, and Denver versus Oakland. I will be watching those if I get a chance, because again, I'll be at TDSS3 and I'll be at the tailgate and I'll be watching them Falcons take on the Buffalo Bills. Take down the Buffalo Bills. So Fuqua Shabazz, aka Rough Buff, y'all will be taking an L this week. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. So I'm sorry, no, I'm not gonna say it. I'm gonna go ahead and book it that the Buffalo Bills will be taking an L this weekend during TDSS3. So last thing that I want to get into here and get y'all out of here with, I appreciate y'all hanging out with me tonight on the Wait a Minute Show here on the Two Live Stews Radio Network. Carson Wentz, and I have to applaud him, because I was going to come on here and say, you better do what you say you was going to do, but he did. Show me the money! So the reason I bring that up about show the money is that last week, the Philadelphia Eagles, who were they playing? I can't even remember who they were playing. The Giants, if I remember correctly. And the game was tied, and Philly had the game in hand, but they let the Giants come back, and the Giants tied up the game, and it was left up to a young rookie kicker named Jake Elliott, who had been cut from the Cincinnati Bengals team, and so he caught on with the Eagles after an injury to Caleb Sturgis, if I remember correctly. So he was out there trying to kick a 61-yard field goal, which, if anyone don't know, that's pretty far. That's pretty far. So Carson Wentz was mic'd up that game, and he said, "Hey, I need him to hit this." And he was like, "Man, basically, if he hit it, I will give him a game check, my game check for this week." Now, I don't know if Jake heard that from, the sidelines or anything like that, but the young man took care of business, won the game, and cashed in on the game check from Carson Wentz. So I want to give congratulations to Jake Elliott, and the reason that I want to give congratulations to Jake Elliott, one, that he got the money. But now, before I came onto the show, I find out that Jake Elliott